Had an amazing experience in public life, 5 terms, 15 years, but I can't see my son cry anymore when I leave. It's just eating me up, and I got to go home. It's that simple.
There you have it. James Moore making the announcement on Friday. Yes, talking about wanting to be at home a little more for his son and his wife. And first of all, thanks for being here. We appreciate you coming in this morning. The decision obviously was meant for family reasons, is what you said. Tell us about how you came to that decision.
I'd actually been wrestling for a while about whether or not to run again. You know, as a member of Parliament from British Columbia, it's a long haul.
Yeah.
So 15 years, 5 terms is a long time. So I'd been wrestling with a decision for a while. My son is 2.5, and he was born with a rare bone disease. And you know, we got some news in the last couple of weeks that was a bit tough. And look, he's a healthy, happy, beautiful little boy, but he's small, and he's going to have some health challenges. And there just comes a moment you just kind of have an epiphany, and you just think, I need to sort of pull back and after 15 years, spend a little more time focusing on things at home. And
Spencer, right?
Spencer's his name. Yeah, he's a brilliant, beautiful little guy. You've I think seen him. And met
I've seen him. Yes,
so he's great. He's got a rare form of skeletal dysplasia, and it has complications associated with it.
For sure.
And it's kind of start and stop, but he's going to be healthy and have a great, full and happy life. But when you're 2.5 and you're on the other side of the country, and when the house sits about half the year, and in the half the year where it's not sitting as a minister, I'm elsewhere in the country. So it's just not fair for me not to be there as much as I can be. And the truth is, I love BC more than I love other parts of the country, and I physically want to be in British Columbia, and I want to be closer to my son and my wife, and be closer to home. So it's what's right for me.
Well, let's talk about what's next for you. I mean, I think there was a lot of talk in our newsroom after you made the announcement that we couldn't believe you started as a federal politician when you were 24. I mean, that's astonishing. Your entire adult life has been spent in Parliament. Yeah,
there's that. When I finished my undergrad degree and I got elected, and I went back to my university, and they had like a sort of a thing for me up at Prince George at the University of Northern BC, and I said, you know, when I was a student, I told you that the system was broken. Then I went and I got elected at 24, and I proved that the system was broken. So,
that's right.
But look, but it's been 15 amazing years, 24 to 39, out by 40. Not a bad thing, I suppose. You know, maybe one day I can come back to public life, we'll see. But it's been a brilliant experience. I mean, served with 4 prime ministers. I was there to see the response of the then Liberal government to 9/11, all the way through to the anti-terrorism legislation and balanced budgets, and the first Iraq War, the Afghan mission, 4 royal tours, the host being minister for the 2010 Olympics, and the brilliance that was for Canada and Vancouver. I've experienced things, and so I am, to my constituents out there, I'm eternally grateful for the privilege of 5 terms in 15 years, but it's time for me to spend more time at home.
This is obviously going to be an interesting election going through. I'm sure you wrestle with that as well, and I'm sure the Prime Minister, because you won by a pretty good margin last time around, so they were ensuring that seat was going to be theirs. So did that weigh on you as well? And I'm sure the Prime Minister, when you talked to him and told him, he was probably like, I understand completely, but I wish you weren't, but I understand. Yeah. Is that kind of the conversation went?
You will know. Well, yes, but you will notice as well that every single election is the most important election in Canadian history.
That's true.
Everyone's so so it is, but and look, they're all elections are important, but yeah, there was of course pressure for me to stay and run, and look, I really enjoy the work. I love it, and it's been the experience of a lifetime. But as I said, I just need to go home. And this election will be a fascinating one for all the reasons that we all know. But you wrestle with the decision of when is the right time to leave.
For sure.
In the previous election, it was, can Stephen Harper earn a majority government? And we did. And this time, it's the dynamics of the opposition is different because they're split. And the Bloc Québécois is actually Gilles Duceppe is back. So it's going to be fascinating. Yeah. But they're all fascinating and they're all interesting. And as I said to your colleague Jacques Barbeau in Ottawa, there are a lot of people in my community who can be a member of Parliament and do a fine job of all parties. Yeah. There are a lot of people who can be the industry minister and contribute to Canada, but there's only one person who can be Spencer's dad.
Yeah.
And that's what I got to do now. And it's not. That's what I want to do, and I'm looking forward to being home and all that.
I wonder how difficult was you, and I know you don't always wear your heart on your sleeve. Sometimes you're very reserved that way, but I know you just because I know you a little bit more than a lot of people, because I've known you for so long, that I can imagine those calls from your wife were very tough for you in Ottawa to have, and just talking about when are you coming home and things like that.
Yeah, like my wife, Courtney, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing mom, brilliant wife. She worked in the Prime Minister's office. She's tough. She knows politics and policy well and all that. I did have a bit of an epiphany maybe about a month ago, a little more than a month ago. I was standing in Vancouver Airport. You know, we're a one-car family, so she drives me to the airport, drops me off.
Yeah.
And my son was in the back seat, and I kissed him goodbye. I said, bye, Sven. He's now old enough. He's 2.5. He's now old enough to know that when I say goodbye, it means I'm gone for 5 days.
Sure.
And he has a car seat that sort of holds him up, and he looked at me and he lost it. And I remember the car driving away, and I was standing there staring at the airport, and I lost it a bit.
Sure.
And I just thought, that's enough. Maybe 15 years is good. And again, look, there's always an election, as we said, and they're always the most important one ever.
Sure.
And so there's always another election,
Yeah.
and so politics is always there if it's right for me to serve again in the future. But it's been 15 years. I've had brilliant experiences. Forever thankful to my constituents and the Prime
Yeah.
Minister for giving me those opportunities. But I just want to be home. I want to not get on a plane on Sunday and watch football with my dad and hold my son and just be home and enjoy British Columbia. Not worry about Ottawa winters. Not worry about not worry about catching that latest Air Canada flight and all that. And yeah, I'm very much at ease and comfortable and happy and looking forward to what's next. So,
have you had any calls from anyone provincially about in politics?
No,
Would that be something you'd be interested in running provincially?
My energy has always been invested federally because, well, in my first election as a campaign manager at the age of 16, in 1993 in that election, this is the last 8 elections in a row, 3 as a campaign manager, 5 as a candidate. It's always been federal, so provincial politics is not really something I've really been invested in. And you know, we have a free enterprise government that's elected provincially, and I think Premier Clark's doing good things for the province, and I think I'll just leave it at that. So.
Well, good luck. Keep us posted on your next move.
Yeah, well, you're very,
I'm sure
very
this
kind.
is not the last we will hear of you.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see, and I'm just looking forward to being home and my constituents. You know, five terms. They gave a 24-year-old kid a shot, and I and I hope that they think I did good with it.
All right. Well, if you want, we'll post your resume on the website if you like.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, James. Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Welcome back home.
Thanks, and I'll see you in the Tri-Cities soon.
All right.